there. So Shishupal, similarly also, you know, he was there supposed to be married to Rukmini, but then Krishna, is that in a way that only the personality of Godhead could have taken him. He just did it. And those who love Krishna, they will say, wow, this was fantastic. Because Shishupal didn't think this was fantastic. He had, funny how Prabhupada writes it, Shishupal looked as someone who had just lost his wife. Well, it's not only he looked like it, he had just lost his wife. and he looked like it also. And so, it's been pretty heavy for Shishupal. But he deserved it, he's a demon. But he had no appreciation for Krishna. He, the Rajasuya sacrifice, you know, they were praising Krishna. Sahadev was speaking in favor of Krishna. There was the big Rajasuya sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira. You know, the first thing that has to take place when the sacrifice starts is the most worshipful personality in the assembly has to be chosen. And so many, you know, it was an enormous sacrifice. And so there was, you know, here there's this sage, and there's that sage, and there's Nanda Muni there, and Vyasadeva is there, we suggest maybe they should be the most worshipful. Then Sahadev got up, and then he started saying, I think Krishna should be worshipped first. And then he started glorifying Krishna, because, you know, actually explaining why Krishna is the most worshipful personality here. And everyone in the assembly say, actually, yes, we think like that, and they're just more and more ecstatic in hearing about Krishna's activities and glories and personality. And because they had love for Krishna. So then, like, Shishupal was there, and when he was hearing all that, he was just sitting there, and he was just getting more and more agitated. Then one point he had to get up and say, you know, say, what is this going on here? Everyone has lost their intelligence. This is an assembly of highly elevated personalities, but it seems that everyone has completely lost their intelligence. He's talking about this glories of Krishna. As far as I can see, I cannot see any good quality in Krishna. He has no good qualities whatsoever. And then he starts saying, you don't know what he is. He's a, you know, is he a Vaishya? Is he a Kshatriya? Is he a, you know, he has no Varna, and you know, and he is a cheater, and he steals other people's wives, and he you know, and he just went on, and there was, you couldn't see anything in Krishna, because the love was not there. And he was even enumerating the glories of Krishna in his own way, but he didn't see it as glories. So this, you know, it's connected. If you actually want to develop love for Krishna, then we have to, you know, become interested in him, and that develops love. If one has love, then one is interested. We have to develop that, and therefore, as it is said here in this verse here, we have to remain in contact with devotional service constantly, because Krishna says one can only understand me as I am, as God, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by devotional service. That's the only way we can stay. If we're not in contact with devotional service, then Krishna will not be visible. But if we are performing devotional service, no matter what devotional service it is, all devotional service is absolute, Prabhupada writes here in the purport. Any kind of devotional service, then one will be, you know, in touch with Krishna, one will see Krishna, one will, realizations of Krishna will come to one when one is engaged in actual devotional service. Therefore devotees are, you know, probably emphasize that one should always be engaged in devotional service, not just to, well, also to stay busy. It's we having this, we are about, you know, Gordon Sai and I have been working on this Hare Krishna challenge. The Prabhupada has conversations about the modern world. I thought maybe we could call it perspectives on the modern world or something. But anyway, so Prabhupada, he has many, so there, one point that Prabhupada keeps, he repeats in several of these conversations that everyone should be engaged. He's not only talking about devotees. Some of the big problem in society is that people are unemployed, they have no jobs, and they're not. But everyone actually should be properly engaged. It's better to be engaged without being paid. Someone say there's no jobs, no one will pay me. Then just do something, get a job where you're not being paid. It's better to be properly engaged than to be idle. Idle mind is a devil's workshop. So Prabhupada is talking about that everyone should be fully engaged all the time. Then there will be a proper society. And so that's also important in devotional service. We come from a background where we were idle, we were lazy, we were inclined to not do anything like that. And that's actually the mode of ignorance. The first step on the yoga ladder is actually work. Simply become active and start doing something. Then something can happen. It's actually better to do something useless, but do it, or something even harmful, than not doing anything. Actually, it's maybe even better to be a butcher than just not to be anything. I don't know. Maybe it's controversial to say like that, but it's better to be something, because then something can happen. You may have a car, a car that is, for example, is pointing in the wrong direction. So at least start driving it, even though it drives in the wrong direction. Then you can change the course and go back in the right direction. But if it doesn't even move, you cannot do anything. So one has to start moving and also stay out of trouble, because if one is not active, one gets into trouble, and one sticks down in the mode of ignorance, and that's really means trouble. But devotees are not. I mean, we have to come to the level of being, of course, fully engaged. Then, of course, yoga ladder is as first as get out of ignorance, become active, and then the next step is become detached from the fruits of your activity. Active means passion. Okay, you're active, and the motive is I want to enjoy the result of my activity. Once you come to the next level, is to become detached from the fruits of your actions, but simply be active because it's duty, it's nature, and it's duty. And then come to devotional service. That's kind of the idea. So it's very important that we are always actively engaged. But really we have to come to the level where we are actively engaged because we want to perform devotional service, because we want to be in contact with Krishna. That's why we perform devotional service constantly, to be in constant touch with Krishna. And I said, devotees who have realizations, they understand that it's always, I have to have some service somehow or other, something I have to, according to my capacity, whatever I can do, I must have a function in Krishna's mission. So in order to be connected with Krishna, I'm thinking of Prabhupada had a very, very wonderful disciple named Vibhu Chaitanya. I don't know if you know him, he was Bengali. And he lived in Vrindavan for many, many years. He died, between 5 or 7 years ago, something like that. Quite old man. And he was, he was living in Vrindavan. He didn't speak English, as far as I know. I don't know if he ever learned it, but and he was, so for many years he was the cook. He was a little older than, most of Prabhupada's society joined a complete young man, but he was maybe, I don't know if he was in the 40s when he joined. So, so he was a cook for 20 or 25 years in the Vrindavan temple, and he was active. He was working hard day and night, cooking all the offerings and stuff. It was heavy physical work. And then, but then he got, when he was 70 or something like that, he couldn't. It became too much. He couldn't do it anymore. So he had to stop being cook in the kitchen there. And then, but he still wanted a service. So the service then he got. Actually, I just came to think of it because when you were giving Charnamrita, he took the service of serving Charnamrita. to all the guests, and of course many pilgrims are constantly coming in the Vrindavan temple. So he would, from early morning to late evening, he would simply sit by the Charnamrita, and serve out Charnamrita to all the pilgrims. And he would be sitting there, and they would. And many had the experience that, you know, someone a little hesitant, and he would grab their hand and give Charnamrita like that. This way he was always engaged in service, and definitely also preaching a lot that way. I mean, I know sometimes maybe he would speak to people, but just the fact that he was there serving and like that, and someone like that serving, being connected with Krishna like that himself is is preaching. But he was okay, he couldn't do anything, one kind of service, but then he found some kind of service. And then I think in the last couple of years he became completely invalid, so then it was living in his room and chanting and something like that. But it's important to always be engaged in service, and service is absolute. Krishna is present. One sees Krishna when one is actually engaged in devotional service, probably without any motive to enjoy or any grudging mentality or anything like that. So one simply is favorably engaged in service to Krishna, to please Krishna. Then Krishna is present there in one's. One is actually seeing Krishna. Prabhupada says, talking about that darshanam. One is actually seeing Krishna, and so that has to be our interest as devotees. We actually here simply to become Krishna conscious and to establish our connection with Krishna and to become absorbed in Krishna. It goes through devotional service, but I mean, it's not only the service itself. I mean, we have to also become actually conscious of Krishna, do it for Krishna's sake. And as it says here, and devotees, pure devotees therefore are fully satisfied by glorifying the Lord. Such glorification is called kirtan. Performing kirtan and hearing the vibration of the sound Hare Krishna is actually seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. When we perform kirtan, then we actually seeing Krishna directly, even though we hear him with our ears. Or when we perform sankirtan, kirtan with devotees together, or or when we have a chance to speak to devotees about Krishna, or when we have a chance to speak to non-devotees about Krishna. Then actually we really experience Krishna's pleasure, or Krishna's presence when we have a chance. Krishna is, he's especially present in kirtan and in preaching, which is kirtan. And therefore the strange thing is that we experience Krishna so much, we go on the streets, we're out there on the street with books and like that, and wow, how much we experience Krishna there. Like I know for myself, if I don't go out on the street, my Krishna consciousness, it kind of goes down. I'm not Krishna conscious at all, but it becomes, there's, I get in slight touch with Krishna by this regular going on the street. It's such a blessing to be able to be engaged in the preaching mission. I don't think we will have a chance. At least it's a unique chance, unique opportunity to become very Krishna conscious, very connected with Krishna by engaging in direct preaching. Not because Krishna really needs us, but we need it. It's us who need to be engaged in that service, because that's how we connect with Krishna more faster, more deeper than any other kind of service. But it should be done because sometimes we are attached to result or we want to change the whole world like that. We cannot change the whole world. But we can become, Krishna conscious and connected with Krishna, and through us, Krishna can make some difference. Krishna can he can even change the world through us. He can even do it for me. He's not going to do it because I don't have the purity, so the whole world is not. He changed it through Prabhupada, and we have some very great devotees who are very empowered. And we are. The motive. Although we should have desire, we should make Krishna's desire our desire. We want to help people. We want to spread Krishna consciousness. We want to change the world like that. But the real motive is also we just want to be, Krishna conscious, and that is done by service. That is done by constant being. Whether there is so-called big result or not big result. To have a service where one is, all one's doing is simply serving Daksha and Amrita. So yes, that's not a very, who will notice that? But that doesn't matter. You connect with Krishna, and then one point, because he did it also that for many years, then it actually also becomes quite noticeable. But it's a very humble service. So our motive should always be, I simply want to stay connected with Krishna when one is doing one service, not because of any other motive. Okay, I'll stop here. Question?
Yes, is that once I was in Vrindavan and this Chaitanya, what did you say?
Chaitanya.
So I was in the kitchen and I was washing some of Krishna Balaram's clothes for 5 days, and every day he would come out and say, Majiti, every day, 12 o'clock, Mahaprasad. And that enthusiasm is just that all these years later, this enthusiasm is the only thing I remember.
Yeah, very interesting. I never met him. Or maybe I saw him. Or maybe not.
I also saw him many years later sitting there.
I think I've seen him sit there also, they're serving out to them. But again, maybe not, I'm not sure.
It was a quite interesting fact you mentioned about this, how the 4 different categories that come to Krishna consciousness. We can also actually determine people's mana by that. I was just thinking that's very that's nice to know, especially when you're preaching.
Yeah.
Because you see, that's easy to see, who are you dealing with here.
Yeah.
So, that was a very interesting thing.
And one can use it on oneself also. Why did I come to Krishna consciousness? Was I searching for the absolute truth? I want to understand the truth. Was that the motive? Could be.
Mixed motives.
Mixed motives.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, that was a little confusing because we were definitely suffering. All of us were suffering, I think. Did a good portion of suffering. But also searching. I was searching also. Also very curious. And I like money. So now I'm confused. Actually, I don't like money. I like. Actually, I like money. But that's not Vaishya. It's not only that he likes money. He likes to make money. That's particular Vaishya. He gets a trick when he's making money. Some of us, we like to spend money. That's not the Vaishya. He hates to spend money. That's why actually the lights turning on like that. Actually, Vaishya, you turn on, and you turn all lights off and just have a little one lamp, because we have to say Vaishyas are very frugal. They don't like to spend money. If they can save. And you see that with Prabhupada. Prabhupada had this, straight of Vaishya nature also, that Prabhupada, first of all, he wanted lights turned off. If there's nobody there in the rooms, the lights have to be turned off, otherwise you say this is just wasting Krishna's energy. You know, there's example when Prabhupada, he would save 2 free rupees on a postage of it was a check of 100,000 rupees or something like that. And then he, you know, enormous. But then he could save 2 rupees by mailing in a different way than you know, there's 2 ways. Like, and he was so that's Vaishyas, you know. It's not that you like money, because Sudras like money also, but they like to spend them on themselves. You know, a Vaishya has his taste in life is to generate, make money, and but often Vaishyas are very austere actually. In their own, they're simple in the living. They're not necessarily lavishly and luxury. Some are also, but some actually are. It's not, but they just like to, and they're very good at making money.
I was just, it came to mind when you were talking about this Krishna Lila, where he was taking away Rukmini. And I was just thinking in continuation of that Lila, when Rukmi and all the others, they go after Krishna. Then Rukmi, he does this thing, he's trying to shoot arrows at Krishna. And every time he's just about to shoot an arrow, then Krishna, he like takes his bow and cuts the string on the bow of Rukmi. And he does that like several times. And I can just imagine how frustrating that must be. You try to fire arrows at someone. And I was just thinking about these conversations with Srila Prabhupada, which you translated. That often Srila Prabhupada, it seems like he does the same thing. That someone is about to fire an arrow and then it just snapped. Because Prabhupada just cuts through.
Yeah. Prabhupada's arguments are so. And he knows what people are going to ask. So he answers before they even ask him. Very, very good conversations. I think people like it. I don't see anything that, I mean, that really see as being too heavy. I mean, some say this book is too heavy. I don't think it's too heavy.
So, one place he mentions that the scientists who are like, they are making up ideas that's degrading the world, and he says therefore they will dwell in the darkest regions of hell.
Yeah.
That's just one place. That was the most heavy I could find. That's quite heavy.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of, I mean, you hear context, of course you hear about reincarnation like that, and there's definitely hellish conditions, or saying that someone, yeah, it's heavy. Just saying that you can become an animal in next life is too heavy for some. So should we also not present that to people? I mean, what can we do? This is a philosophy. This is really a philosophy. But I had an idea actually to change the order of some of the conversations actually. Anyway, I'm not going to talk. I mean, and also I'm going to ask the PPT about that, because I think, I mean, the order they come in makes a difference, and it's, I mean, I think we can do that, because it's, I mean, it's a compilation, and we can also compile it a little different. It's not that it's not Prabhupada himself said it should be in this order.